Hello and welcome back to the Way to Native Chronicles. If you're a Canadian firearms owner in 2025, you're probably confused, and I don't blame you. Between federal bans, provincial pushback, and so-called buyback programs that keep dragging its feet, navigating Canada's gun laws feels less like following the rule book and more like trying to read tea leaves. In today's video, we're going to break it all down, clearly and without political spin. We'll cover the latest legislation, explain the real-world impact of the 2025 buyback program, go over fines and penalties, and look at what the future might hold. So stick around to the end because we'll also share some practical advice on how to stay compliant without losing your mind. Let's start with the basics, what the law actually says right now in August 2025. Bill C-21 and its amendments continue to define the playing field. Although the bill began as a response to rising gun crime, its impact has reached far beyond urban centers. And as of today, it's reshaping who can legally own what across the country. We still have three main firearm classifications. Non-restricted, like hunting rifles and shotguns. Restricted, like most handguns. And prohibited, a growing list that now includes many previously legal semi-automatics. This classification system is crucial, especially when it comes to the 2025 buyback. If your gun has recently shifted to the prohibited category, you're likely on that list, even if you were a legal owner last year. And here's where things get murky. Provincial and municipal rules are starting to influence things more than ever. While Ottawa sets the big picture, some provinces, like Alberta, are pushing back hard, even refusing to help enforce parts of the buyback. Now let's talk about the so-called buyback. It all started with the May 2020 order in council, an overnight ban on over 1,500 models. Since then, the list has expanded, and yet here we are in 2025, and the buyback still isn't fully operational. So what's the holdup? Well, for one, the federal government underestimated just how many firearms they've banned and how difficult it would be to enforce. As of this month, fewer firearms have been collected than originally promised, and deadlines have shifted multiple times. There's growing concern that law-abiding owners are being punished while criminals carry on unaffected. If you own a newly prohibited firearm, you're expected to store it securely, but you can't use it, you can't sell it, you can't transport it unless you jump through some specific legal hoops. So the result, thousands of legal owners are sitting in limbo, unable to comply, yet still at risk. So what happens if you don't comply? Well, let's be clear, penalties are severe. For issues related to licensing, storage, or unauthorized transport, especially if they involve a prohibited firearm, you could face thousands in fines and even jail time. In some cases, you might lose your license altogether, which can result in the seizure of every firearm you own. One common pitfall, misunderstanding the 2025 buyback status. Many owners believe they're exempt or that no enforcement is happening yet, so they ignore the rules. It's a dangerous gamble. Even if enforcement seems quiet now, compliance failures could come back to bite you in months or even years down the road. So what's next? Well, Parliament is still debating. There's talk of expanding the handgun freeze, further tightening magazine limits, and possibly rolling out more orders in council, meaning more bans without a vote. Different political parties have radically different views on gun control. One promises to expand buybacks and increase penalties. Another wants to scrap the entire program and return to what they call common sense gun laws. Public opinion is split. Some Canadians demand tougher gun laws. Others see these policies as misguided overreach. Court challenges are also in play, some of which could delay and overturn parts of the buyback program entirely. So don't assume anything is settled. Now let's talk about the human side of all this. Canadian gun owners aren't a monolith. Some are hunters, some are collectors, some are competitive shooters, and yes, some just want the peace of mind of self-reliance. Many of these people now feel criminalized. Their legal property has become unusable. Their ability to pass on heirlooms to their children, gone. Their trust in the system, shattered. Let's not forget the economic side. Firearms retailers, trainers, and sports clubs are all suffering too. On top of that, there's a flood of misinformation out there, especially online. You'll find posts where people joke about losing all their guns in a tragic boating accident, or boast about how they'll never comply. But here's the truth. It's easy to talk big behind a screen. It's another thing entirely to face real-world legal consequences. Some of these people may never intend to follow through on their own bold claims. They're encouraging others to resist or sabotage enforcement efforts, but when the government knocks, they'll quietly comply. Meanwhile, the people who took their advice at face value may end up paying the price with fines, license revocations, or criminal charges. That's why it's so important to base your decisions on facts, not forums. And let's be clear, no, you can't just grandfather your way out of the buyback. No, a locked cabinet doesn't magically make everything legal. And no, the buyback is not optional if your firearm is on the list. So what can you do? Here's what I recommend. Know your classification. Check the most recent prohibited list. Don't rely on outdated articles or YouTube comments. Document everything. Keep a written record of your purchases, current classification status, and how you're storing your firearms. Get legal advice. If you're unsure where you stand, talk to a lawyer, preferably one who understands firearms law in your province. And join an advocacy group. Organizations like the CCFR or the Canadian National Firearms Association are actively fighting legal battles and try to keep you informed. And one more thing, be careful who you listen to online. It's easy for someone to post anonymously and say, just ignore the buyback, or say you lost your guns in the lake. But those same people might be the first to comply when enforcement knocks on their doors. Don't risk your freedom based on someone else's tough talk. You're the one who has to live with the consequences. In conclusion, if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the Way to Native Chronicles, and share this video so that it gets out to a wider distribution with fellow gun owners who might be just as confused as you were before watching. So let's keep this conversation grounded in facts and keep pushing for clarity, common sense, and fairness in Canadian firearms policies. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Did you like this video? If you did, I think you're gonna like this one right over here. So check it out. And I appreciate your subscribing if you haven't done so already. Remember to do that while you're watching this next video. Click like, it all helps us out for this channel. Catch you next time.